largest information technology company by revenue. Also, earlier this year, it became the first publicly traded US company ever to achieve a market cap of $1 trillion. The company is known for the simplistic design of its products, the very intuitive user experience, and innovation, and has proven that these three together is the perfect formula for building a global leader with a crazy brand loyalty like no one has seen before. Below on this slide, you can see a summarized timeline of Apple's innovation through the years, starting from Apple II in 1977 that revolutionized the PC industry all the way through Apple Watch in 2015. And it's very interesting to note that most of these products went on to become leaders in their immediate market vertical. The industry that Apple is in is sure very competitive and fast moving, but the company has done a stellar job at diversifying its product portfolio, thus minimizing the risk of being disrupted easily. Some of its top competitors include Samsung for iPhone and iPad, Lenovo and HP for Mac, Garmin for watch, Google for iTunes App Store and other internet services, and Android Pay for Apple Pay.
Then the Apple macro environmental factors. Actually, in the marketing system, economic environment plays a major significant roles. Also, it like dealing with computers and electronic gadgets. So the Apple plays a major important role in overall the technologies. So Apple introduced the latest mobile device, iPad, which is like multi-touch screen and then like very thin and which can experience the photos, webs and videos within a fraction of seconds. Maybe what are the environments we are actually facing on this product is like political environment or as well as cultural environment and the product life cycle and then like a SWOT analysis. Apple has invested approximately like $580,000 since 2002 for the political activities as well as like it's mainly concerned on people's behavior and it's like values, ideas on the day-to-day the people trends and however the everyone's actually after purchasing how they behaves and they are going for the SWOT analysis like strength, weakness, opportunity and threats. What is the strength of an Apple? It's like a delivery to the customer and then the weakness is like it's everyone knows that the cost is very high while compared to other company like HP, Dell, etc. And the opportunities of Apple it's like virtualization will be the re-entries to the entire market. The threat, the close competitor to the Apple is Microsoft. Microsoft is a good in operating system PC. And then the marketing mix is like we can say that there is a different kind of strategies and services effectively to different consumer groups. The life cycle which we can say is physical items you are selling to the consumers. By considering the POTOS model, the Apple company also has been followed the 5 forces analysis which has been success one of the most valuable companies in the world. We know that Apple has achieved a very good success. And by this POTOS model, there have been a competition that is like a strong force and bargaining power of buyers or customers they consider as a strong force, bargaining power of suppliers that they are considering as a weak force, and threat of substitutes or substitution they are considering as a weak force, the threat of new.
Here, some of the ways that we think Apple should move on to maintain its competitive advantage. When it comes to competitive advantage, we don't think that Apple should obtain a competitive advantage because it already has and it builds over years by their consumer loyalty and their dependency on their products. Being more open to the market demands, Apple can become more competitive ahead of its competitors. Like as Samsung, if you say a direct competitor in a consumer electronic market, particularly on phones, to Apple, they have the configurations and pricings with the different varieties and the different characteristics according to the markets. In the developing world, that not every consumer can afford Apple just because of its configuration and pricing. Apple can limit itself in a stiff market, but to maintain the competitive advantage and being the leader in the market, it should be more flexible and adaptive in nature. Adapting to upcoming trends also a main point that to invest more in R&D towards the research and operations for the future products, Apple should consider more on what people needs and then but not just improving its existing products. Facing the future as it is by applying more market trends in the application sector, Apple is very stiff that have very less application writers to work as iOS apps. iOS apps are not we say very limited ones, but in open market we have thousands and thousands more. So by evaluating the third parties applications and making a quality ones can integrated in iOS, it will be more competitive in the coming future. Some of the points as recommendations to Apple in future. Moving ahead in the technology curve. Comparing to Samsung, adapting new hardware, applications, and design improvements, Apple are lagging in the curve. They have to improve more on adapting new hardwares, new specifications, and improving their design. Investing in future technologies like VR and AI should be very important. Virtual reality and artificial intelligence is going to be the future. So, improving Siri is one of the artificial intelligence features in an iPhone can be a big initiative. Competitive to their Google Assistant and their competitors, Siri is lagging behind. Make more reliable consumer electronic products in market. Apple are always the leaders, but they have done the mistakes in past too. Like the MacBook Pro released with a touch bar in recent years, being not appreciated much. Like mistakes like those has to be avoided. That's the main reason why Apple products are lacking behind their competitors. Like MacBook Pro's direct competitor, the Microsoft Surface Book, is a lot of competitive advantage on its features. Still, MacBook Pro prevails by having the brand loyalty and the value Apple created over years. So, reducing the mistakes like MacBook Pro with the touch bar, like kind of things, can improve its efficiency over years. And conquering the developing countries' markets should need the different configuration and financial ideas to make the product a little bit more cheaper and give it in a different configurations. Apple is not so flexible in those areas but need to reconsider their philosophy and ideas to conquer the developing world.
Thank you for everyone for being patient and seeing our video. This is what we learned about the Apple and other companies.